The Countdown. In a small, bustling town nestled between mountains, there lived an old watchmaker named Mr. Whitford. His shop, though tiny, was famous for the precision and craftsmanship of his clocks. Every villager owned one of his pieces, and people from nearby towns would come seeking his expertise. Despite his fame, Mr. Whitford led a quiet life, spending his days repairing old watches and creating new ones with unmatched patience and dedication. His work was meticulous, and every gear, spring, and dial he placed into his creations symbolized a part of his soul. One cold winter evening, as he was winding up an antique pocket watch, he noticed something unusual. The watch had a faint inscription: "To begin again, first you must end." Intrigued and curious, Mr. Whitford set the watch down, but couldn't stop thinking about the strange message. That night, as he drifted into sleep, he dreamt of a giant clock suspended in the sky, ticking away towards an unknown moment. The countdown had begun. The next day, as the sun rose, Mr. Whitford couldn't shake off the feeling of impending significance. He began to observe the clocks in his shop more closely, and to his astonishment, they all seemed to be in sync, their ticking growing louder and more pronounced. The townspeople, too, began to notice this eerie synchrony, as if time itself was marching towards a singular point. Soon, whispers spread through the village that something monumental was about to happen. Some feared the end of the world, while others believed it signaled a new beginning. Children were kept indoors, and the once lively streets became quiet, filled only with the rhythmic ticking that echoed from every home. Mr. Whitford, though apprehensive, felt a sense of responsibility. He believed that the mysterious countdown was linked to the strange inscription he had discovered, and he knew he had to uncover the truth before time ran out. As days passed, the ticking grew louder, and with it came a growing sense of urgency. Mr. Whitford threw himself into his work, examining every watch, every clock, and every mechanism in his shop, hoping to find a clue. During his investigation, he stumbled upon a forgotten journal left by his mentor, a watchmaker who had passed away many years ago. In its pages, he read about the ancient craft of timekeeping and the deeper mystical forces it could control. Time, his mentor had written, was not just a measure of moments, but a force that could shape destinies. The journal described a rare and powerful watch, crafted centuries ago, that could reset time and offer the world a second chance. But this power came with a cost. Once the countdown began, it could not be stopped unless someone made the ultimate sacrifice. Mr. Whitford realized that the antique watch with the inscription was this fabled creation. The countdown was not signaling an end, but a chance for renewal, provided someone was willing to pay the price. With this newfound understanding, Mr. Whitford faced a moral dilemma. If he did nothing, the countdown would end, and the world as he knew it might be destroyed, or time would simply restart, wiping out everything that had happened before. On the other hand, if he chose to stop the countdown, it would require his life, his essence, to power the reset. After days of contemplation, Mr. Whitford made his decision. He couldn't bear to see the world suffer, to let time consume the lives of those he cared for. On the final day of the countdown, he took the antique watch in his hands, whispered a farewell, and wound it one last time. As the final tick echoed through the town, a brilliant light enveloped the sky, and then silence. The countdown had ended, and with it, time itself reset. The townspeople awoke to a new dawn, unaware of the sacrifice Mr. Whitford had made. His shop remained, but the ticking of the clocks had ceased, and his memory faded like the wind, a quiet reminder that sometimes the greatest acts of love are those that go unnoticed.